chief guest of today, Toshihiro Mizutani. I'm sorry, I don't know whether I have pronouncing it right. And also we have on the stage Shri Ajay Chaddaji, Shri Shrikant Dattji, Mr. Sandeep Karkala, Shri Deepak Anand, all the guests in the audience, Ellargu Namaskara, Munjaneya Shubhashayagalu. I'm really happy to be here with you. Especially I should be thankful to Shri Krishna Gowda for bringing me from my kitchen, from the noise of the vessels to the daily routine. You know, it's become since last 20 years, it's more of, it's not more, it has always been the cooking, the rice, the dal and the other things. And of course, nowadays, since last 10 years, we have been talking about the wastage part, how we can, how every kitchen can slowly move towards renewable energy sources, how do we reduce the petroleum usage for cooking. These have been the activities which I am involved, and also today even they told me that I should speak about the same, but I really don't know. I want to talk about something else, because you have called me to a foreign, I can call it as a foreign event. Normally we in a routine conversation, we say foreign is something which I don't know, and that's what we use that word as. But after coming here, especially being part of this INBCC inauguration event, and I always feel many a times that, okay, for us foreign countries are especially two countries. One is small in size but more association with India. The other one is a big country, and for us it is always, India was always, for various reasons, we are looking at West. Especially when I completed my engineering, it was many of my, even today, my almost 90% of my classmates who after their engineering, they were all trying for GRE and other programs, wanted to fly to Western countries. And we know there's one big country, we have been always thought that everybody should go there and settle and be there, earn in big dollars. And that has been the dream of many of our youngsters. And the other country we all know, which has been, we were ruled by them for 400 years. And our culturally, with regard to the language, very much influenced by that country. And now it is in big news. So these are the two countries all along, like even in the earlier speakers were talking, majority of our students, and once they pass out, want to go to either USA or to Europe. And that has been the trend. But at the same time, we back in India will be always talking about this Western influence should reduce. You know, it is influencing and it's harming our culture in a very big way. And there are so many ways, including the topic about which I was asked to speak is the concept of zero garbage, which we introduced in our kitchen. That cooking is not just preparing food and sending it to children. There are so many aspects. The fuel what we use, why should so much of wastage getting generated? How do we look at the cutlery? Why should we use the disposable cutlery and make so much of wastage, so much of pressure on the natural resources? All these things have come in last our maybe 100 years or more, in last 20 years, because of this big influence of Western countries, because it was never there in our culture. See, we had, if you just look at some 100, 150 years back, there was no concept of dustbin in our houses. In our great-grandmother's house, in our rural places, there's no concept of dustbin. So everything which I never wanted was getting utilized somewhere else. But eventually when the money became the focus, when dollars became to the center stage, everything else has has become everything is valued with regard to money. That was not the Indian culture, but we were influenced by these two countries. But at the same time, when I was like when the founders, when they met me, the founders of INBCC, when we were discussing with them, I was just thinking, yes, there is a country, of course, you all know about it. There is a country which is culturally very close to India, and for India it is always mornings, or the east is always the best time, and the sun rises from the east, and there is a country wherein culturally many things are common, and especially when at the introduction time they were saying that in 752 AD itself our ties have started, and so many gods are, we have Ganesha, we have the same Ganesha is there in Japan. Saraswati I had read in various articles. One of my good friend, Dr. Jayanti Manohar, she has written about the various gods in Japan. She has done a intensive travel. I can request her, Dr. Jayanti Manohar, maybe Krishna Gowdaji, you know about her? Jayanti Manohar. She has done a lot of study about how many things we have in common, especially the goddess Saraswati, Ganesha, and of course Buddha. Even today, we also we pray the same God, you also do it. And that is one. Respecting the elders, there are so many things, and there are so many things which are common. Of course, there are barriers of language, there are cultural barriers in the present day, but I am sure these two things we can overcome these two things, because when I have a 3-year-old grandson, he speaks Marathi, he is just 3-year-old, he speaks Marathi, he speaks Hindi, he speaks Kannada, and of course, because he has started going to school, he speaks English. A 3-year-old boy can learn 4 languages. I am sure there are lakhs of youngsters in India, at younger age they can pick up the languages very well, and I am sure language on one side, because of our quick grasping of our youngsters, language I don't think is a barrier, and also today with the so many new technologies coming up, I don't think language should become a barrier. There we may get so many communication apps as soon as while I am talking, getting translated, and we know what's happening. So that is on the one side. Culturally, we only say there are some visible outside barriers, but I don't think it is much. Lot many things are common. And culturally, spiritually, when we have similar thoughts, I think from where do we start is, although I represent a not-for-profit organization, because last 25 years I've been running a not-for-profit organization, as you saw in the film. We run 4 kitchens in India. All put together, we cook every day for 1,75,000 children on a daily basis. But in the whole process of cooking, one thing I realized is cooking food is not just an art. It should become engineering, not just engineering. It should connect culturally, and also it should connect all of us spiritually. With regard to that, we tried the concept of zero garbage. Again, it is not something which is an high technology aspect. It is more to look at how do we. It is more related to our lifestyle. Small changes, like the small things, which otherwise used to go to the dustbin. Just make sure that it reaches the right person. These are the small things which we changed in the kitchen, and since last 12 years, we have just removed our dustbin. Not only in my big kitchen, even back in my house, there is no dustbin in my house. And it is possible to do our routine. There is more satisfaction than that you realize once we start getting into this particular thing. And again, not using petroleum fuel, then tree planting. These are the various aspects of Adamya Chetana. I request even the delegates from Japan, I request you to visit our kitchen. It's right in Bangalore, and definitely we'll be happy to associate with regard to all these concepts of Green Sunday and change, green lifestyle and zero garbage and all those things. So, as a of course, I am not a person who have done lot many things in business, but what I think is, although in India culturally for us center stage was never a money, but it can be a starting point. Always the collaborations start with business. It is business, education, then culture, and then spiritual. I think with these 4 steps, definitely India will elaborate with Japan and start with the business collaboration. Then, of course, start with business collaboration, start with the education part, involve more and more youngsters, bring more and more youngsters into the make them understand it is no longer a foreign of our colloquial foreign, but it is a country where India, our youngsters can look at the future, because that will take them to the next level of cultural and spiritual collaboration. Together we will reach higher and higher heights. So anything else? Yeah. So Krishna Gowda is saying we'll request for the visit. Yes, I request the Japanese team, please visit our, I'll be happy to show the kitchen, take a tour of our kitchen, where in Bangalore we cook for 75,000 children on a daily basis. And it's right just 2 kilometers from this place. And also I request all the members assembled here, you please make a visit. Together, try to bring a change. All of us are doing our bit for the society, and especially this team, Sri Krishna Gowda and his whole team is really doing a wonderful service for the youngsters, and also for bringing this wonderful relation between a great Eastern developed country, wherein we are aspiring to be one of the leading countries of the world. And I think this is one best opportunity where the entire ecosystem is quite conducive, and I congratulate all the founding members, all the team who are associated with INBCC, and thank you very much for inviting me here today. Thank you.